These are the most reviewed gloves on Revzilla, and they absolutely suck. These are the Alpinestars SMX-1 Air V2 gloves. They're a light summer weight glove, and most reviews for them go something like this. They will say, well, it fits well and it's all perforated leather and I like the hard TPU slider and it's made by Alpinestars, so it must be great, right? Well, the fact is most of those reviews were written after a 20-minute spin around the block and they didn't really put the glove through its paces. Well, I did. So let me tell you why I hate these gloves. So I've ridden probably 20,000 miles in this pair of gloves over the past 3 years. A lot of that was across the USA on a cross-country tour, and a lot of it was in Thailand here where it's super hot and a lot of rain, a lot of harsh weather. So I really put these through their paces and challenged them a lot. So let's start with what's good about these gloves. The SMX-1 Air, they're very affordable. That's the first thing that a lot of people are going to look at. They cost about $70 at the time of making this review, so that's great for a summer weight leather glove. I can also say with confidence that they do flow a lot of air. They're comfortable in hot weather. They're comfortable just in general. I don't get any pain like here in the thumb or in the fingers or in the knuckles like you get with a lot of badly designed gloves. They fit really well. I'm actually shocked too at how well the leather has held up given what I've put these through, especially with the humidity. They have held up pretty well versus, a lot of cheaper leather gloves I have that just totally fell apart or kind of like melted through different parts of the leather. As you can see, it's holding together all right. But here's where I hate these gloves, and it has to do with one thing, the ink. The ink bleeds everywhere all the time. And actually, as I was reading up about whether other people have this problem with these gloves or just leather gloves in general, I found that most people get the ink bleeding issue with leather gloves early in the life of the glove. So for the first couple months, the first couple wears, when it's wet or they sweat a lot, they'll get some bleeding of the ink, but usually washing it or just waiting will set the ink and then you'll have no problems for the rest of the lifetime of the glove. I've had the opposite problem with these. So for the first 6 months, like when I was riding across the US, I had no problem. They were great gloves. Well, then when I got back to Thailand, I started riding in the wet some more. Then they started really bleeding all over and turning my hands basically black or purple. And I have tried everything to solve this. I've hand washed them, I've soaked them, I've put them in the washing machine, I've dried them in the sun. I've done everything you can think of to try and set the ink in these, and it only gets worse. Now if I wear these 30 minutes on a hot day, just my sweat will turn my hands black. So it makes them basically unusable at this point. And like I said, that problem didn't start 2 years into owning them. It started about 6 months into owning them, which for many people are going to wear these as summer gloves. That's 1 or 2 seasons, which is kind of early for a nice pair of Alpinestars to start having serious problems. And I don't think this is an issue with Alpinestars in general because I also own the Cellar glove, and I'll get into the story behind why I only have one of these. But this is all black leather in here too, and I ran this through the exact same conditions as this glove and never had any bleeding problems or any ink issues. And these are actually older than these, but I'll get back to these in a second. So this glove, another couple downsides, the Velcro is so weak. I mean, it's holding on by a thread here now, and I have no confidence that these would stay on my hand in a crash because that Velcro is just going to open up immediately. The leather has held up pretty well, although the stitching here, as you'll see, the stitching ripped open, likely from me putting them on so often and pulling like this. I think it just, that seam gave way, but for an Alpinestars glove, I'd expect that to hold better. Also, there's supposed to be touchscreen material on these, but it doesn't work. It never really worked, and it certainly doesn't work now. So what are your alternatives? Well, I actually bought the SMX Air 1 as a replacement for this glove while I was on that trip across the US. I lost the right glove to this somehow, fumbling with my things at a hotel in Indianapolis. A storm was coming and I had no light, and I think I left the gloves out and one of them fell off of my bag or blew away, but I couldn't find it the next morning, so I went off with one glove. And then I bought these in a pinch as a replacement for these. So for the rest of that trip, I actually wore these two gloves together, this on my right and this on my left. And in Thailand, I did that for a while as well. So I really tested both of these apples to apples. This one, like I said earlier, never bled on me. I love this glove. It actually flows air pretty well. Not quite as well as this one, but still I was riding in 100-degree Fahrenheit, 100% humidity in this glove and not sweating that much more than in the Air glove. So this is one option you might want to check out. Alpinestars just released a V3. I'll put a link in the description. So this is a good glove that I like a lot. And then I just bought these, the Alpinestars Phenom. So I'm going to test these out now and give you guys a review after I've had a chance to put these through a lot of inclement weather. These are all leather as well. They have not quite as hard of a slider on the knuckles, but still pretty hard slider. And they feel like a lightweight, summer weight glove. They also have a perforated leather version, but I didn't buy that one because they didn't have it. So at the store that I was at. So I'm going to test these out as well. I'll put a link in the description for these as well. So check those out. That's all I got for you. Peace.